County.
Rain across the 4 states, and we've even got more to come. We're going to break it all down and take a look at our weekend from the Skywatch Weather Center.
And the price to get away jumps just in time for the summer travel season.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities identify the body found in a well yesterday in Newton County and arrest a suspect for his murder. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, the Newton County Sheriff discovers the body of a Neosho man who was recently reported missing. A tip led Newton County Sheriff Jennings to a well on this property on Crane Drive, southeast of Seneca. That's where they found a male victim and sent him off for an autopsy. According to the Joplin Police Department, that victim is Scotty Roller, a 36-year-old from Neosho, Missouri. Investigators say on March 18th, Roller had a verbal altercation with another man in Joplin over the purchase of a vehicle. They say that man, 40-year-old Damian Fisher from Joplin, shot Roller in the back as he was leaving. Detectives say Fisher and an accomplice dumped Roller's body in a well in rural Newton County. Police arrested Fisher during a traffic stop yesterday. He's now charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. Missouri recovers 95% of the jobs it lost during the pandemic, and Joplin is one of the cities leading the progress. According to the Missouri State Chamber, some areas of the state's economy have grown above pre-pandemic levels. Latest quarterly economic report from the state shows Joplin's unemployment rate at 2.25%.
We have seen tremendous growth in our area and have fully recovered from the pandemic and are back up to our pre-pandemic numbers and are excited to be the community that's leading the state.
Slifka says some factors she believes have contributed to the abundance of jobs in Joplin are affordability, opportunities for growth, and networking. Well, first, we had thunder, and then came the rain. Michael joins us with the first look at the forecast.
That video that we just had about the Joplin job recovery, it was beautiful outside yesterday. Then when that video was shot, I was sitting there going, oh my goodness, all that blue and sunshine, that does look delightful right now. Because here's what we got over 7th and Range Line. As the rain just opened up over Joplin about 20 till. So about 25 minutes ago is when it started. And here we are outside of Television City. I mean, you can almost see it come down every now and then. It was coming down sideways earlier. We're starting to get on the backside of it here at the mothership, almost riding the state line in a north-south direction and just crossing into southwest Missouri. Do want to point out Nevada and Vernon County specifically, because that's really where the rain started this morning. They haven't had a break since about 7:30. 8 a.m. As you work out to the west right here, things are really calming down, but then for everybody out to the east, you've still got this band that continues to push across the 4 states. What we're seeing down to the south, that should skirt us and head into northwest Arkansas. Kind of take off the cloud cover and look at the heavy rain that runs from Joplin all the way up. Eventually here in about the next 10 minutes, it's going to be right over I-49 and then continue to push off to the east. Lightning more so to the north. We are picking up several strikes now in between Joplin and Carthage. We just haven't seen the intensity of the lightning like we did up when it came out of Bourbon County and then into Vernon County. Not much of really a drawback in temperatures. So look out to the west right there where it's already in the 70s. Now, I take an example for Welch and Miami that were just about at 70. Then we saw about a 6-7 degree drop when the storms rolled through and a nice quick rebound. We're witnessing the same thing right now in Joplin and Lamar. And after that rain passes out, we'll be right back into the 60s, if not 70s. For this afternoon. You notice too, Nevada had slipped down to 59, just a result of that rain just hanging over there all day long. Now, after this band moves out, we become more sporadic and scattered for the afternoon and evening. Really nothing organized able to come through. Doesn't mean, though, you should get rid of the umbrella for tonight. Then tomorrow morning, we've got this band that rolls through. Tanya, coming up here in just a little bit. I want to talk more about what we're anticipating for tonight into tomorrow morning, because that thing's got the possibility of packing some high winds and even some hail.
A lot to talk about, and we'll look forward to that. Thanks, Michael. Well, Russia urges the West not to interfere with its war with Ukraine. In World Watch, President Biden is asking Congress for billions of dollars in additional U.S. spending today to support Ukraine's military, as well as new legal tools to tighten sanctions and siphon assets from Russian oligarchs. Now, Russia has intensified attacks in eastern and southern Ukraine, but Ukrainians are fighting back. And despite being at odds over the Russian invasion, the The U.S. and Russia completed a prisoner exchange that returned a former U.S. Marine to his home in Texas. Trevor Reed had been held in a Russian jail since 2019. Anti-Semitic incidents have reached a record high in the U.S. as millions around the world mark Holocaust Remembrance Day. Survivors of the Nazi massacre say hatred toward Jews needs to stop now. CBS's Tina Kraus gives us a closer look.
Sirens sound across Israel, bringing life to a standstill to remember the 6 million Jews and millions of others who died in the Holocaust.
It's really amazing to see the whole country stop for 2 minutes.
But on this Holocaust Remembrance Day, anti-Semitism across the U.S. shows no signs of stopping. A new report from the Anti-Defamation League reveals violence, harassment, and vandalism against Jewish people reached a record high last year with more than 2,700 reported incidents. The U.S. has the largest Jewish population outside Israel, and the number of anti-Jewish hate crimes recorded in New York and Los Angeles nearly doubled in 2021, according to a worldwide study from Tel Aviv University.
Today is Holocaust Remembrance Day.
100 Holocaust survivors from across the world united to deliver a message on the dangers of unchecked hate.
Never again.
Roman Haller says it all starts with hate. It's important to fight against this hate. Valery Bendersky escaped the Holocaust when he was just 7 years old. Now he's left Ukraine for Israel to feel safe. He sings, "We fled from Putin in Ukraine the way we once fled from Hitler." With anti-Semitism on the rise, he's joining the calls for peace. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
And not all those who lived through the Holocaust have escaped the war with Russia. This month, a 91-year-old woman died in a basement in the war-torn city of Mariupol. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, planning your summer vacay, travel changes including price jumps. We've got what you need to be aware of. And later, we're making Parmesan smashed potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Here's a look at our tower camera sponsored by the R.E. Smith Construction Group as work continues on the KOAM More Power project. You can check it out anytime and see the progress on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com/power. Well, prices for everything are on the rise, including vacations, and that has many people searching for cheaper alternatives. Michael George reports.
Lavina Perry is taking her first vacation since the pandemic started. She brought her grandchild from North Carolina to see the sights in New York City.
Feels good to get out and walk and be around people.
But what doesn't feel good is the price tag, from the flights to the hotel rooms.
How do you feel about the higher cost of traveling right now?
That sucks, but if you want to get out, you got to do it.
Americans are getting hit with vacation sticker shock. The travel site Hopper.com says the average price for a domestic flight is $353, up 39% from last year. And hotel rates are $160 a night, 20% higher than a year ago.
We found that about 6 in 10 Americans are planning summer vacations, but almost 70% of them are making some changes because of inflation.
Ted Rossman is with Bankrate. A new survey shows the most common changes include traveling a shorter distance, engaging in cheaper activities, and booking less expensive accommodations, which is what Maria Janoka chose to do.
We're not going to Florida because it was too expensive, so we're going to Texas because it was way cheaper.
Other vacationers are saving money by going camping. Many will head to a national park, and 28% of those surveyed are only planning a staycation. But Rossman says it can be rewarding.
Play tourist in your local area, maybe plan some day trips, some things that are fun and nearby, but you don't always get a chance to do.
Whether it's a short road trip or an international flight, travel experts say it's a good idea to plan and book now because rates are expected to stay high. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, the Bankrate survey also found only 33% of American workers who get paid vacation time plan to use all of it. Still to come on the KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
Looking for a side dish that is simply smashing? We've got it, and these are as much fun to make as they are to eat.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
All right, keep the umbrella with you all the way through the weekend. Now, 7th and Rangeline is looking a little bit better than what we had. At least it's not coming down on cats and dogs. That was just about 15 minutes ago is what we were experiencing there. We'll break it down from a fundamental standpoint, starting with the rain, then we'll jump into the wind, and then we'll talk about temperatures before we get to the weekend. Here we are with the current Skywatch storm tracker. We mentioned that corridor of rain going to ride I-49 here for probably the next 10 minutes before it pushes off to the east. And it stretches from the connector at 44 all the way pretty much up north of our highlighted counties. And give you an idea of the lightning. Lightning really hasn't been too widespread. We've seen certainly more of it up to the north and eastern portion of southwest Missouri compared to what we've had to the south all day long. Rain totals, that's a look at this week. And so certainly, anytime you see the bands in the green right there, that's pushing up inch and a quarter already, and we've got plenty more to come. Now, today alone, we do see the little pockets, especially in Vernon County. You'll notice you can pick out about 3 separate pockets in Vernon County alone that are already approaching that inch mark. Everybody else sitting about 1/10 and a quarter, but remember, we got plenty more to come our way. Our temperatures right now ranging in between 59, our low spot in Nevada, and still throwing up some low 70s. So it's a matter of the rebound as the rain pushes off to the east, and then you end up back into the 70s like it is out to the west. And that's because the wind's still coming in from the south. But tell you what, we've got some wind numbers that have not disappointed. How about a 40-mile-an-hour gust at Joplin Regional Airport, and then consistent mid to high 30s throughout our other airports that track that. Here is that band of rain. We are kind of the talker of the contiguous 48. We got the warm bubble right here that rides the ridge, and so while we don't have to worry about the temperatures, remember when you get along that line, that is also the formulation for some pretty intense weather this time of year. Afternoon planner is the wind just won't budge at all, but at least we're going to go from the elongated band of rain that we have right now to the more sporadic and scattered variety for afternoon and evening hours. And then as we dip into Thursday night and Friday morning, we're going to be back on it with additional thunderstorm activity. So here's future track for tonight and this evening. It's a pop-up every now and then. That's about all it is. But the organized stuff, it makes its way toward the Mississippi River. So we turn our attention out to central Kansas because as we get into Friday morning, we've got a good one that's going to roll through with some heavy rain. That's going to have thunder and lightning, and that's going to present an increase in the chances of hail and high wind. As it continues through, Friday morning should be done about the noon hour. Pop of green every now and then. Friday afternoon, not looking too bad. I tell you what, though, tomorrow is going to be windy as all get out. Today, 35, 40-mile-an-hour gusts. Not going to be surprised if we don't get up into the 50-mile range for tomorrow. Then as we get ready for Friday night into Saturday, this is where it gets interesting. This thing is very organized. Of course, when we get those skinny bands that come in from the directional angle, as this one goes northwest down to southeast, those are the ones that will kind of make the severe thunderstorm risk map perk up. And the heavy rain just does not stop. Works its way through all through early Saturday morning before diving off. After that, the rest of Saturday, probably going to have some sunshine and get back up into the 70s. But the important aspect of it is this is for Friday and Saturday. We see the elevated category on the severe thunderstorm risk map. Been a while since we had that, working into an early morning round of it. And then even as we work into the central portion of the 4 states, that's still that low category. And once again, wind and hail are going to be our main threats. Nationally speaking, it stretches all the way from the Red River up to just about the South Dakota-Nebraska state line, and then east-west from West Kansas almost to the Colorado state line into central Missouri. Every other day on the 7-day forecast is going to have a chance for rain in it. So after we get through the wind and hail threat for Saturday morning, then we turn our attention to flooding because it's not going to back off even as we begin May.
Well, sounds like the rain's going to come and go all weekend long.
It's going to hover around on us. Nice thing is if we can at least get things out of the way in the morning, shape up for afternoon and evening activities and a chance to dry out as well. But the wind is not going to disappoint tomorrow or Saturday.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that.
If you have a game that you like to play
on Saturday,
yeah, arrange home plate appropriately and get that wind blowing out and turn that thing into home run derby.
It's opening day for JL Hutch League.
That's interesting because you've got the fields that are like this. That's luck of the draw, depending on where you're going to play at.
Which field? Where's the wind at? Yep, sure is. All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Purple Heart recipient Jerry Williams in the U.S. Navy. The Pitcher, Oklahoma native joined the service in 1965. He fought in Vietnam and was killed in action in 1968. To Jerry Williams, we salute you and we thank you, our four-state hero. We're going to have a smashing good time with today's recipe. Howard shows us how to make Parmesan smashed potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
For years, we've been taught to be gentle when working in the kitchen. Well, today, I want you to throw those thoughts out, since the dish we're making today gets its big personality when we smash it. And when I say smash it, I mean in a good way. We begin by boiling a couple pounds of small white potatoes. Once they're tender, we drain them well, and while they cool, we whisk together some melted butter with a bit of chopped parsley, some minced garlic, a little salt and pepper, and a good amount of Parmesan cheese. Now for the fun part, we place our potatoes on a couple of baking sheets, and with the heel of our hand or with a large spoon, we gently smash the potatoes like this. The key is to smash it, but still keep it in one piece. We brush these with our butter mixture, and into a hot oven they go to crisp up. In about 20 minutes or so, we end up with potatoes that are crispy on the outside, tender as can be on the inside, and packed with flavor. So here's what I suggest. Go to our website and get the recipe for what we call Parmesan smashed potatoes. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a smashing way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
That does look good. You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our four-state market prices.
Rain stretching just east right now of I-49 will continue to push off to the east. So everybody along and living out there in southwest Missouri, you got the rest of the afternoon to go. Everybody out west starting to see the temperatures rebound though, as it's working back up into the 70s out there. And remember, got another round coming tonight into tomorrow morning. And then after that passes through, the best phrase I've been using all day, is going to be windy as get out tomorrow.
Windy as get out.
I think that's like a Central Ohio thing. I don't.
Western Kansas too.
Yeah, it's
Kansas.
regional for sure.
Yeah.
Midwest.
All right, what do we have coming up tonight?
Well, at 5, Moderna has submitted a request to the FDA for emergency use authorization for a vaccine for children under 6. We're going to have the latest in Health Watch. Plus, details on a summer music festival announced today taking place at PSU's campus, and Joplin's College of Dental Medicine receives a multi-million-dollar donation. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's all coming up today on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.